File number is 24743FD. This is a tough case. Mr. Lee is represented by attorney Lori Hines. He was charged with operating while intoxicated, third offense, a felony charge. This is, in point of fact, his at least fourth drinking driving offense. His 3 priors are all in the state of Indiana. Several are quite recent. So it was reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor, and Daniel was assigned to prepare this report. Daniel came to see me earlier in the week, I think Tuesday. I guess it would have just been yesterday.
Dan's out.
I think I guess he told me that, and that he said if necessary, Matt or Autumn would know what was going on. Anyway, Mr. Lee has a serious alcohol addiction issues. I read the assessments. It's like I didn't need an assessment to tell me what was going on here, but Daniel's recommendation is quite harsh. He's recommending 365 days in jail, 180 days immediately with other factors. So, Ms. Hines, what would you like me to know?
Your Honor, Mr. Lee has taken the recommendation, but the possibility of sobriety court very seriously. He has located a residence in Sturgis, Michigan. I think they can move as early as today. He did get an assessment at the Northeastern Center. I submitted that to Mr. Franzine. He works full time. His wife is here. His family is happy that he's taking his sobriety seriously. He's going to AA meetings probably 3 to 5 times a week, if not more. And we're asking for an adjournment today for the possibility for him to be assessed for sobriety court because he's now a Michigan resident.
All right. And Daniel and I discussed that. The problem is he doesn't have a Michigan driver's license.
Okay.
And we can't give him an interlock device unless he has a Michigan driver's license.
And he indicated to me, and I told him that may be an issue. And he said, I don't even want a driver's license or I want to drive.
Right. Well, so that may be an issue. He certainly needs intensive probation.
Correct.
But you deserve a big bunch of jail time. I appreciate what you're doing now, but you were an unguided missile. And the facts in this case are as bad as I've seen in some time. The more I read it, the worse it got. You got deferred sentence and house arrest in other jurisdictions. And Mr. Franzine said you were taken aback when he said you're probably going to get a big belt of jail time. And that may be a wake-up call. Now, it may also totally disrupt your life. Lose your job, your family's without you for 6 months or a year. In the earlier times, and I've been here for a long time, I've been here so long we didn't even have a copy machine. But if you got this charge, you did a minimum of 365 days in jail. That was the minimum. Some people went to prison. You were just, for one thing, you didn't have a driver's license. Your driver's license was suspended. You were just off probation, and you were just cavalierly drinking all day and then driving. I'm going to read the summary from the police report. On May 24th, officers from Sturgis Police Department received a be on the lookout for a Jeep that was driving recklessly down Fawn River Road towards Centerville, failing to maintain the lane of travel. I think more than one person called in. Officers observed the be on the lookout vehicle parked at the Marathon gas station, the intersection of Fawn River. So they positioned themselves to watch you. The subject got out of the gas station, got into the driver's seat. The vehicle exited a gas station south onto South Centerville Road without headlights or taillights. Before turning east onto Fawn River Road, the vehicle continued east on Fawn River Road with no lights on. swaying back and forth in the lane of travel, crossing over the center line and the fog line. The vehicle then approached the intersection, continued south, then disregarded a stop sign, made a right-hand turn, and then they pulled you over and you said, I only had one drink 3 hours ago. Your blood alcohol was 0.32. For extra measure, you had open Modelo cans in the car. And you're a mess. They have to take you to the hospital at 3:2. So they did actually take you to the hospital. Your blood alcohol then came down. So this was bad. You're dangerous. Dangerous down Fawn River Road, dangerous down Chicago Road, driving with no lights on, weaving all over the road, blowing a stop sign, open beer in the car, just like it was another day in the park. We've been struggling recently with Indiana convictions, trying to get a straight answer from the Driver License Appeal Division. We got conflicting answers. I've been doing sobriety court now for more than 12 years, had dozens, maybe hundreds of people go through it. And let's say, like you, somebody has multiple priors in the state of Indiana, including recent ones, and then they get convicted here, charged with a felony, reduced to a misdemeanor. That's really our core group. But then they told us, well, if they have an Indiana convictions, they're not eligible for restoration. You need 2 Michigan ones. And I don't think that is accurate. I know for a fact I've put people in the program before. So we hadn't discussed the fact that you don't want a driver's license because Michigan won't give you one. You can't come into Michigan with 3 recent Indiana drunk driving convictions and a Michigan one and apply for a Michigan license for me to attach an interlock to. I don't think they'll do it. But I'm willing to discuss possibly putting you in the program without the opportunity for a license. There's no reason why this shouldn't have been done before. But I think in defense of your lawyer, you lived in Indiana. And I told her if he lives in Indiana, he's not eligible whether I like it or not. In the meantime, you've moved to Michigan or are moving to Michigan. So her question is, are you eligible now that you're a Michigan resident? Have you actually moved to Michigan yet?
Oh, we have started moving some of the stuff into
Where are you
our house.
moving to?
It's
I have the address, Your Honor.
What town?
Sturgis.
housing is very scarce in in the surrounding area.
It is. It certainly is.
Yeah.
And I deal with landlord tenant cases every day. And it's hard to find a place to move to.
Yeah, we had to purchase a fixer-upper. That's why we haven't fully moved.
They had to replace the subfloor and put a new floor in and do some wall work and.
All of
They've
those
been working
trailers
on
there are old housing stock, but
Yeah.
the rent is expensive. It's $1,000 with lot and trailer rent. But all right. Mr. Lee told us officers he has attended some classes. He did 3 sessions for OUL second. He's starting going to AA meetings every Tuesday and Thursday. And he did have an appointment with a primary care provider. This officer does not believe that Mr. Lee is considering sobriety court because he knows he needs help for his alcohol consumption, but as a way to stay out of jail and possibly get a license. This officer understands this is not untypical for many of our sobriety court participants, but it does indicate where he is likely at the recovery process. I hope it does work out, but Mr. Lee is able to apply and be accepted into the sobriety court program. However, I'm structuring my recommendations as if he is not. So, sobriety court would be different, recommendation than 180 days in jail. It wouldn't be no jail. But we'll at least take a look at it. But when it gets to your fourth drunk driving and you're a serious danger to the people here in St. Joe County by drinking all day and driving terribly without a driver's license in the first place. When I used to do the victim impact panel, when I was prosecutor, I started the victim impact panel many years ago. And I would tell people, I'm not going to say that you're never going to drink again. Just don't drive a car. And you were cavalier about driving a car. You didn't have a Michigan or Indiana license, and you're going here, there, and everywhere, just as though you did. Now you, I guess, acknowledge that you can't do that. How are you going to get back and forth to work?
Me and my wife, we work on the same shift, same.
All right, well, that certainly helps.
And if there would be any jail time, would there be possible I could do on weekends?
Well,
because,
it's possible it could either be weekends or work release.
okay, because I'm up for a promotion at work, depending on.
Well, I'm not oblivious to the fact that this could cost your job, but you need to get a ticket on the clue bus. You get arrested for drunk driving 4 times, you could do a whole bunch of jail. You could lose your house. Your wife and daughter or wife and son won't have your income. They lose your health insurance, although she has it. It's a big deal. And it's like, well, maybe somebody will give me some deferred jail time or house arrest. Eventually, you're going to get whacked. And I don't know if this is the time or not. But as I read those facts to you, they're just terrible. We've had lots of driving fatalities in our county in the last year. As you know, an assistant prosecutor was killed by the head-on collision. She probably actually talked to you about this case. The man then ultimately died. I don't know. I haven't seen the final result. I don't know whether he had drugs or alcohol or both in his system. The presumption was that he did. Another young man was drunk, leaving the bar and hit a tree on the way home and left a wife and 2 kids with no dad. And I could tell you about 6 or 8 more stories like that just from 2024. Unfortunately, you weren't one of them. All right. Ms. Hines, I'm willing to grant your adjournment.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Would you give this to her? We're going to send you downstairs to see Matt. I know you take most of the extended summer off, so do you have any available
It's the
days
spring, Your Honor.
between now and October?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Other than the 22nd through the 28th of August, I know I'm going to be coming out.
I don't want to go that far.
I didn't bring my phone with me. So. I don't take time off in the summer.
I do.
You do more than I do. I take it off in the spring. That's when.
How about Monday, July 8th? Are you available on that day?
I don't know. I'll make it work. What time?
Here's Autumn now. Do you have input on this? Come on up.
Somehow I knew you were delaying me enough until I got up here. So I've already reached out to Secretary of State in regard to Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
She can't tell me definitively if he'll be able to even obtain one until he gets a Michigan driver's license
I'm
number.
assuming that he will not be able to obtain one.
My guess is he will not.
So he says, I want to do sobriety court, and I'm not going to be interested in getting an interlock.
And unfortunately, at that point, because it's grant, things are grant funded, that's the carrot. That's what people are striving for, is a license. If he doesn't feel he needs one and doesn't want one, then I would rather use my services for people that want one, and he can just go on an intensive, regular probation that is centered around a type of sobriety court program. But my hope is he didn't move to Michigan with the intention of going into the program. If that was the reason for the move, then I think maybe he was misled at some point.
All right, well, let's try to break this down a little further. She referred to it as the carrot, in the metaphor of the carrot and the stick, which is a goofy metaphor, but the carrot would be something that the animal would want and strive to get to it. The stick would be, you'd hit them with a stick to punish them, and so you get some hitting with a stick, and then you get some reward with a carrot. It seems like they could have picked something better than a carrot, but the chocolate cake or the stick. Anyway, the people that go into sobriety court, not everyone, but most of them are eligible to get their driver's license with an interlock. So there's a benefit that we can grant only to sobriety court people. You can't get an interlock device unless you're in a certified sobriety court treatment program. So her point is, you don't need a sobriety court program. We could do a regular probation with intensive supervision.
So at least with moving to Michigan, if he doesn't get sobriety court, he'd still get afforded the ability to do probation.
He would.
So it's not a lose-lose for him, so.
Yeah, and he could also do probation though.
And he works, he does
Yeah.
work, and he works in Michigan, so.
Well, so the other side of the equation is sobriety court is very treatment oriented.
Right.
We spent, as she mentioned, some of it's grant funded. We have a grant funded group treatment program. We do testing at the day reporting center. You're required to be in an AA program, and you're required to do individual treatment. You're
Which
also
he's
required
doing.
to do community service. So some of those things he wouldn't have to do on a regular probation. He would still have to test. And he wouldn't, and I could still meet with him. But Autumn's point is, and she's been at this for 10 years or so, is that if we can't give him a license anyway, we don't need sobriety court. We could just use regular probation.
Which he would still have to, on a probation order, have to complete an assessment, complete the treatment. So everything that he would be required to do on a regular probation or in a sobriety court program, he would have to do on a regular probation, minus just the twice a month reporting to the judge. He would still be required at some point to test.
He wouldn't be in Spencer's group.
Correct, but
but-
there's nothing to
but-
say that they couldn't put him in a treatment group.
And he's already,
That is-
he's in a treatment program.
Well.
He's,
And he's
Now-
going to AA. How many times are you going a week?
About 3 times.
Are you keeping a log of it?
I started keeping a log.
He has a journal.
Yeah, I mean, so,
now, wait a minute, you've been to AA 3 times?
3
No,
times
a week.
3 times a
sir.
week, okay,
Yes,
yeah, that's better.
yeah.
Some programs, you have to do 90 AAs in 90 days. But sometimes that's just not feasible.
And it's not the same one. He's done the Sturgis, he's done
Yeah,
the Grange. he's done
I'm all
Three
in favor of
Rivers.
it. Hopefully he got a wake-up call that he's not
Yeah.
gonna
Yes, sir.
kill himself or somebody else.
I think his wife would
Um,
confirm that.
So I don't want him to lose his employment. That's one option. Just give you 180 days in jail. You'll get 5 days a month good time. You'll be out 150 days. If you mow lawns or you're a trustee at the sheriff's department, you'll be out in about 130 days. So in the meantime, you're just in jail. And then you get out and I don't have a handle on what you're doing. And I don't also have the prosecutor input. I'm not being critical. They just don't have enough people to go around. But you have been involved in treatment. This only happened in May and it's now June. That's pretty much about as fast as it gets, which is what I prefer. if I'm gonna have somebody in sobriety court, I like to get them right in there shortly after the event. We're at May 4th for the arrest and June 19th for the sentence. That's pretty fast for court time. So in that period, you got your assessment, you started going to AA. I'm assuming that you've been alcohol free
Yes.
and you haven't been driving. So those are all pluses. So let me ask you, in the words of Jay Leno, what the hell were you thinking? What were you doing just blasting around all day, drinking from morning to night and driving up here in Michigan?
That day I was celebrating, for becoming a grandfather, and then I don't have an answer for my terrible actions. And I did think which that doesn't help the fact I thought that I had an Indiana license still at the time, but that doesn't, dedicate for me drinking and driving, because when I went, my license it expired on my birthday, and I had to, get a valid license. And I went to the license bureau and I, relinquished my license and went with just a state issue ID card.
All right. So Autumn, if we do a regular probation, what are you recommending?
Well, actually, Dan Frazine completed the
He
screening.
did.
My recommendation would be for him to continue treatment, 24 months probation, eligibility to be discharged in 12 months. I would require him to attend at least 2 AA meetings a week, 3 if he wants, with monthly logs sent to the probation officer. I personally would have him start testing 2 times a week at least, with
Yes.
possible reductions after 45 days if he can prove sobriety. Victim impact panel. I think this case warrants some jail. Not out for people to lose their jobs, so possibly have him serve a few weekends.
More than a few. I'm talking like 60 days.
Well, if that's the case, then I would, if it was me, I would request that him be able to go to Twin County, fill out the work release packet program, get it back to them so they can approve it or deny it, and then him be able to turn himself in on a Friday night.
Well, let's talk about that. We have work release.
Yes, sir.
We used to do it at the jail, and now we do it at Twin County Probation Center. The logistics of that are going to be difficult. It's in Three Rivers. You live in Sturgis. You work in Sturgis.
I work White Pigeon.
White Pigeon. All right.
His wife's his drive to work.
All
He
right.
works second shift, right?
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, let's try this. 24 months probation. 180 days in jail. Credit for 2. Leaving 178 days. Of the 178 days, 118 are deferred, leaving 60 to do. That's either 30 weekends or work release. There's a $300 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee. I'll cut the screening fee in half, $50. $150 attorney fee, probation oversight fee of $960. It could be cut in half if you do it in a year. There's a police reimbursement of $200, victim impact panel of $32. Testing, drugs and alcohol, 2x per week. The victim impact panel, substance abuse counseling and treatment. No drugs and no alcohol. Do you smoke marijuana?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, it's not legal in Indiana. It's legal in Michigan for adults. You can't smoke marijuana while you're in this probation, which makes this even worse in addition.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can stop that as well.
So are you going to treatment now, but you're still smoking marijuana?
I haven't smoked for probably 6 or 7 days, possibly.
All right, you need to really to get on the clue bus.
And then, yeah,
Well, in Indiana, it's not legal to smoke marijuana or possess it. So you're under the radar on that one.
I've been leaving it at the Michigan residence.
Okay. All right. Well, it's legal for adults in Michigan, but you can't. And if you were in sobriety court, I wouldn't let you do it either.
Okay.
Do you have a medical card?
I was going to apply for one of them once I, gained my residency and kind of went through all these proceedings because.
Well, I'm not gonna, even if you get a medical card, I'm not gonna let you smoke marijuana.
Okay. I just have chronic pains in my.
Well, if you stop drinking so much, you might heal your body up some. Now, there's still 365 days held over your head. So if the wheels fall off, you still could get a big dose of jail. I've got 118 days deferred, 300 plus 75 plus 50 plus 50 for the screening, plus 150 for the attorney fee, 960 for the probation oversight fee, $200 police reimbursement, $32 victim impact panel is $1,817. Your bond was $50,000 cash or surety, and you posted it. So under the theory that you're a danger, like a assaultive or sexually assaultive person. You weren't assaultive, and you certainly weren't a sex offender or sexually assaultive. I don't want to have any indication that you were, but those people are dangerous to the public. And someone that drives the way you did after getting arrested 3 previous times is a danger to the public. All right, there's not a time to report to the jail. Work release might take a bit. Do you want me to give a date to start?
Well, so if he wants to try work release, I would recommend going to Twin County today.
Okay.
He needs to take that work release packet to his supervisor or his employer. They need to fill it out. He needs then to return it to Twin County, and then they will approve. They'll contact the supervisor to verify work hours, and they'll approve it. If they do, they normally have them turn themselves in at Friday night at 7:00. That way it would be outside of his works hours, but since he works nights, they may have him turn himself in first thing Saturday morning, and then they would pick him up Saturday afternoon, and then he'd have a day and a half to get settled into the probation center to be able to go back to work Monday afternoon.
All right, we'll have to work the logistics of this out.
So you work Monday
Monday
Friday night.
through Friday night, 1:30 to 10.
I've sent a message downstairs to the clerk, so she's fully aware of what occurred. So she's gonna schedule an intake with Dan and go over information. He'll need to go to the DRC as well to get signed up for testing.
One comment is we've been trying to discern this Indiana-Michigan issue. And as Autumn said, we've been struggling with the driver license appeal division recently. They get the bad consequence of an Indiana conviction, but they don't get the benefit. We had a case where the person was charged with third offense. They had 3 offenses in 10 years, but they didn't have 2 in 7 years. They pled to a second offense OUIL with an Indiana prior that was more than 7 years ago. So the person certainly needed services, was a fit for sobriety court, but we're struggling with whether they can get in or not. And they're not going to give you a driver's license in Michigan under these circumstances. Also, you're revoked. It's going to be very difficult for you to ever get a license. However, if you complete the probation and maintain a period of sobriety and do everything that's needed, you can eventually apply here in Michigan for a restored driver's license with the traditional driver license restoration with an interlock. Just wouldn't be through sobriety court. So you go downstairs to probation, and Give it a spark, take down there.
I think.
60 days is a gift. All right, we'll send you out to the counter and then downstairs.
All right, so is this the judgment you're
Yeah.
on?
Just ask the girls to make him a copy.
All right,
so we
there you
can
go.
get it.
And then he needs to go downstairs.
Yes.
Mr. Golden,
you.
why don't you come up and have a seat?